Welcome, my dear students. We are now in Module 5, Performing Operations on Rational Numbers. What I need to know. At the end of the discussion, you are expected to first, determine the procedures on how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide rational numbers. Second, perform operations on rational numbers. And last, solve word problems involving operations on rational numbers. Let's review the types of fractions. We have the proper, improper, and mixed numbers. When we have proper, it means that the numerator is lower in value than the denominator, or mas mababa ang value ng numerator kaysa denominator. In improper, mas mataas naman ang numerator kaysa sa value ng denominator. At sa mix naman, meron tayong whole number plus the fraction. And don't forget, kapag nagko-compare tayo ng fractions, we have the similar and dissimilar. When we say similar, they have the same denominator or yung bottom part ng fraction. And kapag dissimilar naman, different denominator. Now, for our main topic, we will have the four operations, the addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division for the rational numbers. Let's start with the addition. Addition of similar fractions with the same denominators. To add similar fractions, add the numerators and write the sum over the denominator, then get its lowest term. Example 1. Let us find the sum of 3 over 15 plus 7 over 15. So, parehas lang sila ng denominators, kaya sila tinawag na similar fractions. At kapag similar ang fractions, we will just simply add the numerators. So, for our solution, let us add 3 plus 7 and then copy the denominator. 3 plus 7 is equal to 10. Copy the denominator, so we have 10 over 15. Now, simplify or reduce the lowest term. So, let us think of any common factors for 10 and 15 to get its lowest term. So, the common for 10 and 15 is 5. So, we can divide both sides by 5. So, 10 divided by 5 is equal to 2, and 15 divided by 5 is equal to 3. Therefore, our final answer is 2 over 3. Let us have another example. Find the sum of negative 3 over 4 plus 5 over 4. So, for our solution, first, add the numerator and copy the denominator. So, we will have negative 3 plus 5 all over 4. Remember the rules in adding the integers. We have different sign here. So, instead of adding, we will subtract. So, negative 3 plus 5 is equal to 2. So, positive 2 kasi mas mataas ang absolute value ng 5 kaysa negative 3. Then, copy the denominator, we have 2 over 4. Next step is to simplify and reduce to lowest term. So, find the common factors of 2 and 4, and that is 2. So, 2 divided by 2 is equal to 1. And then, 4 divided by 2 is equal to 2. Our final answer is 1 over 2. Remember, kapag maglo-lowest term tayo or magsisimplify, kung ano ang ipang-divide sa numerator, yun din ang ipang-divide sa denominator. Very easy, right? Next is addition of dissimilar fractions, or the fractions with different denominators. To add dissimilar fractions, find the LCD or the least common denominator, convert to equivalent fractions, then write the sum over the denominator, then get its lowest term. Let us have an example. Find the sum of 2 over 3 plus 4 over 5. To change dissimilar fraction into similar fraction, first, get the LCD by finding the LCM or the least common multiple of the denominators. Second, divide the LCM to the denominator. And last, multiply the quotient to the numerator. Let us see. So for our solution, we will have LCM is equal to 15. So the common multiple for 3 and 5 is 15. So we will just multiply, skip counting. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. Then in 5, we have 5, 10, 15, 20. So the first common multiple they have is 15. That's why our LCM is 15. So we will copy the first fraction. We have the 2 over 3, then equals to over 15 because that will be our LCD. So it is said that we must divide the LCM to the original denominator. So we will have 15 divided by 3 is equal to 5. Then 5 multiplied by 2 is equal to 10. So 2 over 3 will have the equivalent fractions 10 over 15. For 4 over 5, we will have 15 divided by 5 is equal to 3. And 3 times 4 is equal to 12. So 4 over 5 is equivalent to 12 over 15. Now we have the fractions 10 over 15 plus 12 over 15. Now let's proceed to our steps. First is to add the numerator and copy the denominator since we have already the similar fractions. 10 plus 12 all over 15. 10 plus 12 is equal to 22. Then copy the denominator over 15. We have 22 over 15. Now simplify or reduce to lowest term. Since we have improper fraction, it will now be changed into mixed numbers. So how many 15 are there in 22? That's right, we have 1. Then 15 times 1 is 15, so we will subtract 15 from 22. 22 minus 15 is equal to 7. Then just copy our denominator. We will have 1 and 7 over 15 as our final answer. Let us have another example. Find the sum of 5 over 7 plus negative 2 over 3. First, change the dissimilar fractions into similar fractions. Our LCM is equal to 21 because the common multiple or the least common multiple of 7 and 3 is 21. So for the equivalent fraction of 5 over 7, we will now divide 21 divided by 7 is equal to 3. Then 3 times 5 is equal to 15. 5 over 7 is equal to 15 over 21. Next, negative 2 over 3. 21 divided by 3 is equal to 7. 7 multiplied by negative 2 is equal to negative 14. Now we have 15 over 21 plus negative 14 over 21. Now let's proceed with adding the fractions. So first, add the numerator, 15 plus negative 14. Then copy the denominator. 15 plus negative 14, since we have different sign, we will subtract. So 15 minus 14 is equal to 1, and then copy the denominator, we have 21. Now simplify or reduce to lowest term, but as we can see, 1 over 21 could no longer be reduced, so our final answer will be 1 over 21. Now let's have addition of mixed numbers. To add mixed numbers, observe the following rules. 1. Examine the fractional part of each mixed numbers to determine whether the denominators are similar or dissimilar. 2. If the denominators are unlike, use the LCD to rewrite them as equivalent fractions. 3. Add the whole numbers and add the fractions separately. Whole plus whole plus fraction plus fraction. And 4th, simplify the result if necessary. Let us have an example. Find the sum of 5 and 3 over 4 plus 4 and 1 over 8. We can see that 3 over 4 and 1 over 8 are dissimilar fractions. So let's change them first into similar fractions. Their LCD will be equal to 8 because the LCM of 4 and 8 is equal to 8. So 8 divided by 4 is equal to 2. 2 times 3 is equal to 6. Now for 1 over 8, 8 divided by 8 is equal to 1. And 1 times 1 is equal to 1. Now we have 6 over 8 plus 1 over 8. Now, ang sabi kanina sa ating steps, add the whole numbers and add the fractions separately. So whole plus fraction plus fraction. Our whole plus whole is 5 plus 4. Then our two fractions are 6 over 8 plus 1 over 8. Now, let's add first our whole numbers. 5 plus 4 is equal to 9. And then, add 6 plus 1, that will be 7. Then copy the denominator, that is 8. Our final answer is 9 and 7 over 8. Very nice. Well done with the addition of rational numbers. Now let's have subtraction of rational numbers. Subtraction of similar fractions. To subtract similar fractions, subtract the numerators and write the difference over the denominator and then get its lowest term. Let us have an example. Find the difference of 8 over 9 minus 2 over 9. For our solution, let us subtract the numerator. We will have 8 minus 2 and then copy the denominator. So 8 minus 2 is equal to 6. Copy the denominator, we will have 6 over 9. Simplify, then reduce to lowest term. The common factors for 6 and 9 is 3. So 6 divided by 3 is equal to 2 and 9 divided by 3 is equal to 3. So our final answer is equal to 2 over 3. Now let's subtract fractions with different denominators. Subtraction of dissimilar fractions. To subtract dissimilar fractions, the same procedures as addition. Find the LCD, then convert to equivalent fractions, write the difference over the denominator, then get its lowest term. Let us have an example. Find the difference of 3 over 5 minus 2 over 7. For our LCM, 5 and 7 has an LCM of 35. So our LCD will be 35. 35 divided by 5 is equal to 7. 7 times 3 is equal to 21. Next, 35 divided by 7 is equal to 5 and 5 times 2 is equal to 10. Now we have 21 over 35 minus 10 over 35. Now, let's subtract the numerator and copy the denominator. So we have 21 minus 10 all over 35. 21 minus 10 is equal to 11, then copy over 35. Our final answer is 11 over 35 since we cannot reduce it anymore. Subtraction of mixed numbers. To subtract mixed numbers, 1. Convert each to an improper fraction. 2. If they don't have common denominators, find a common denominator and use it to rewrite each fraction. And last, subtract the fractions and simplify. Let us have an example. Find the difference of 4 and 3 over 5 minus 2 and 3 over 4. First is to convert each fraction into improper fraction. That is, to multiply the denominator to the whole number, then add the product to the numerator. Let us have 5 times 4, that is equal to 20, and 20 plus 3 is equal to 23. Then, copy the denominator. So, 4 and 3 over 5 is equal to 23 over 5. For 2 and 3 over 4, we will have 4 times 2 equals 8, and 8 plus 3 is equal to 11. Then, copy the denominator, we have 11 over 4. Now, since they are dissimilar fractions, we will convert them into similar fractions. Our LCM for 5 and 4 is 20. So, our LCD is equal to 20. 20 divided by 5 is equal to 4. 4 times 23 is equal to 92. Then, we have 20 divided by 4, that is 5, and 5 times 11 is equal to 55. Now, let's proceed to subtracting the fractions. So, subtract the numerators. We will have 92 over 20 minus 55 over 20. That is 92 minus 55 is equal to 37. And then copy the denominator. We have 37 over 20. Simplify and reduce to lowest term. So, how many 20 do we have in 37? That is 1. and 1 times 20 is 20. So we have 37 minus 20 is equal to 17. Then copy the denominator. We will have 1 and 17 over 20, and that's our final answer. Well done. Now let's move on to multiplication. Multiplication of fractions. The product of two given fractions is a fraction whose numerator is the product of the numerators of the given fractions and whose denominator is the product of the denominators of the given fractions. That is, product of two given fractions is equal to product of their numerators over product of their denominators. Let us have an example. Find the product of 2 over 3 and 4 over 3. Let's multiply the numerators and the denominators. We will have 2 times 4 all over 3 times 3. 2 times 4 is equal to 8 and 3 times 3 is equal to 9. We can see that 8 over 9 can no longer be reduced. That's why our final answer is 8 over 9. Example 2. Find the product of 3 over 4 times 7 over 10. So 3 times 7 all over 4 times 10. 3 times 7 is equal to 21 and 4 times 10 is equal to 40. 21 over 40 can no longer be simplified. That's why it is our final answer. Example 3. Find the product of negative 5 over 3 times 9 over 10. We can have negative 5 times 9 all over 3 times 10. Here we can use the cancellation method or yung pagsisimplify ng fractions para mas mapadali ang ating pagmumultiply. Ang cancellation ay pwede lang para sa numerator at denominator. So, alin ba dito ang pwede nating i-cancel? We can have the negative 5 over 10 and 9 over 3. Yes, pwede po yung padiagonal. Pwede rin po yung magkatapat mismo, pero pwede rin yung ganitong padiagonal. Ang mahalaga, numerator to denominator ang kina-cancelled out natin. So, sa pagka-cancel, para lang tayo nagsisimplify, let's have their common factors to divide both of them. For negative 5 and 10, we have common 5. So, negative 5 divided by 5 is equal to negative 1. And 10 divided by 5 is equal to 2. For 9 and 3, the common factors or the common factor is 3. So, 3 divided by 3 is equal to 1. And 9 divided by 3 is equal to 3. Now, let us multiply the numerators and the denominators. We will have negative 1 times 3 is equal to negative 3. And 1 times 2, we have over 2. So, for our final answer, negative 3 over 2, we can still simplify this or change it into mixed numbers. So, how many 2 are there in 3? That's right, we have 1. So, since we have negative 3, we will have negative 1. Then, let us subtract 3 minus 2, we will have 1. Then, copy the denominator, 2. So, our final answer is negative 1 and 1 over 2. Almost done. Now, let's have the division of rational numbers. Division of rational numbers. There are 3 simple steps to divide fractions. Step 1, turn the second fraction or the divisor upside down, or this is what we call the reciprocal. Step 2, multiply the first fraction or the dividend by that reciprocal. And step 3 is to simplify the fraction if needed. Let us have an example. Find the quotient of 7 over 9 divided by 4 over 9. First, copy our dividend, 7 over 9, then get the reciprocal of 4 over 9. Or pagbaliktarin lang natin ang numerator at denominator. That is 9 over 4. Then proceed to multiplication. We will have 7 times 9 all over 9 times 4. Here, we can use the cancellation method. So, 9 and 9 have common factors 9. So, divide both them by 9. We will have 1. 7 times 1 is equal to 7. And 1 times 4 is equal to 4. How many 4 do we have in 7? That is 1. Then 7 minus 4 is 3. So our final answer is 1 and 3 over 4. Example 2. Find the quotient of 2 over 11 divided by negative 7 over 15. Copy 2 over 11, then get the reciprocal of negative 7 over 15, that is 15 over negative 7, then proceed to multiplication. 2 times 15 all over 11 times negative 7. 2 times 15 is equal to 30, and 11 times negative 7 is equal to negative 77. So our final answer is negative 30 all over 77. Example 3. Last, find the quotient of 3 and 1 over 5 divided by 1 and 4 over 7. Let us first make it or change it into improper fractions. We will have 5 times 3 is 15 plus 1, that is 16 over 5. Then we will have 7 times 1, that is 7, plus 4, that is 11 over 7. That's why we have 16 over 5 divided by 11 over 7. Copy 16 over 5, then get the reciprocal of 11 over 7, that is 7 over 11, and proceed to multiplication. 16 times 7 is equal to 112, and 5 times 11 is equal to 55. Our final answer by simplifying 112 over 55 is equal to 2 and 2 over 55. And that's all for now. Keep safe and God bless.